Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you a few of my foolish thoughts after Michigan's 84-72 victory over the Michigan State Spartans this week. Obviously, starting off, Spartan strong, Spartan will. Thoughts and prayers to those Spartans and the whole state, honestly, as the tragedy of the shooting happened. And I think Michigan did a good job, and so many other sports teams did nods to Michigan State all throughout the country, so it was noticed and appreciated, I hope, and it was goodwill. Now let's talk about the game. Michigan is not a team that plays very good defense, and is not a team that makes lots of hustle plays, but Michigan State is known for good defense and is known for hustle plays, so this didn't look like it was going to be a good matchup. If you watched the first game in January, I didn't make a video of that. I was at a Christmas party, and I didn't make a video about that game. Both teams just shot terribly, like under 40%. This game was the complete reverse of that. Both teams were playing pretty poor defense, if you will. Lots of wide open jump shots, lots of layups. Both teams were just hitting like uncontested shots all over the place. Michigan got off on a good foot with Doug McDaniel getting 7 points in the first minute and a half. I think it was a jumper, a three, and a steal with a layup, and he led Michigan throughout the whole game. He had, I believe, 18 points to lead the team, and Kobe ended up with 17 and such. So Michigan was really led in the first half by Doug and Kobe. Jet and Hunter were really struggling in the first half, and it was difficult for them to get anything going. Even when Michigan State wouldn't double Hunter, he just seemed to be rushing and making silly turnovers. The turnovers, I think, was the big theme of the first half for Michigan. 8 turnovers in the first half really fueled Michigan State to a 36-33 halftime lead. And again, as the TV broadcast brought out, it's not just what the turnovers themselves, but what kind of turnovers. And it's the live ball turnovers where it's, Jet Howard driving, does a stupid pass, gets intercepted and gives he falls down, and then Michigan State goes out and gets a super awesome dunk out of it. They got 3 dunks in transition. Michigan just did terrible on those and didn't stop the ball, and so live ball turnovers really hurt Michigan in the first game. Just dumb turnovers. 2 in a row where then Tschetter did just a travel, and then Hunter did a travel right after that. It's what are you guys doing? Get your head in the game. I gotta say that Michigan, I felt fortunate that Michigan was in the game, really, for how 8 turnovers and they were only down by 3. The keys to the second half, you needed Hunter to get going, you needed Jet to get going, and starting off, I would have to say Hunter did get going. I mean, he had a few points in the first half, but he ended with 14 in the second for the game, so I think that was a good job. And even though Jet Howard was shooting pretty poorly overall, he did get in a little spurt where he got an offensive rebound, put back and one, and then he hit another jump shot. Sadly, on that jump shot, he landed on, I think it was Hauser's foot, rolled his ankle, and didn't come back in. He got to 10 points, and things were kind of going good for him, and all of a sudden he had to just, sit on the bench, and he didn't come back. I got to give props to the bench, though. T. Will was out again with a lower body injury. I would have to say, honestly, that Tschetter was just completely abused by Hauser in the first half. He gave up 10 points, and it was that Howard had to put Reed out there because Tschetter could not do anything. But in the second half, Hauser slowed down, obviously, the first possession of the game. Second half, Hauser gets fouled on a three-pointer by Tschetter, and he goes off and hits all free throws. It's oh, Tschetter, what are you doing? But Tschetter actually did hit a 3. He got a layup, so he got some points. So I think he finished maybe with 7 points for Tschetter. I didn't write that one down. Sorry, Tschetter. How many points you had? But my big key, Baker ended up with 10. And that's big, big, big. But I really think the huge point here was Reed really came in. And Reed doesn't necessarily get a lot of points per se, but he got 8 this game. He had a couple layups and ones. I think it was completely Michigan State's strategy to foul him every time they could. There was one where Hauser like hacked him across like the shoulder. I'm like, he's not even going for the ball. I'm like, honestly, that could be like a flagrant foul. But they didn't call it. I don't know if it really is, but it's like, I think Michigan State was just, their strategy was just foul him, make him shoot free throws, and he was only 2 of 5 in the game, and one of them banked in. So, I mean, their strategy was pretty good, I would have to say, overall in that aspect. But he was a beast, man. He got at least 2 to 3 blocks, and he had the key play in the game. I mean, if you didn't watch the game, Michigan is a tie game. Michigan, I think it was Baker airballed a 3, but it hit off Hauser. So Michigan still had the ball with 7 seconds to go about. They get the ball in, and Kobe has to just basically all himself, and even he gets like some scramble 3 that he hits right in front of the Michigan bench. Michigan comes back down on D, and again, it's Kobe playing Hauser, and Kobe's just playing super straight up D, and then it overcomes Reed and blocks the shot. Not only does he block the shot, but he fouls it. Hauser's hoping that it'll just kind of go out of bounds and they can keep the ball. Instead, Reed rushes over there, tips the ball to himself, and then gets the ball to Doug. It's like, boom. Like, Michigan got the ball there, and they come down, and then Hunter hits a 3. And what a huge play. That effort play, that block and saving the ball, set up the 3 to put Michigan up by 6. And I think it was 78 to 72, and Michigan didn't give up any more points to Michigan State. So that was just a huge play. And coming down the stretch, Michigan hit their free throws. Doug hit his free throws. Baker hit his free throws. So that was really, really good there. Kobe hit some free throws there, too, in the last minute when it's like, intentional foul time. So excellent there. I'll have to be honest. I was sitting there watching the game with my wife. I'm like, well, she's like, well, Michigan's in the game. I'm like, yeah, they're going to blow it somehow. Like, they're gonna be the last 5-6 minutes here. They're gonna go on like a scoring drought and blow this game. That's what I thought would happen, because you know what? Michigan had lost 7 games this year, 7 by 5 points or less. So I thought it would happen again. And give credit to Michigan. They made the shots. They made some defensive plays, especially that Reed block, and they got the game. They got the win. I think you also can give a big X factor to the emotional drainage that Michigan State players went through. Like, basically, I think since like the 8.5-minute mark, I think they had 2 field goals and 2 free throws. I think that's what they made for the rest of the game. So, I mean, it was, again, I think the Michigan State Spartans got kind of tired, mentally drained, emotionally drained, and I think you could kind of see the impact. I'm not saying Michigan wasn't playing some solid defense there, but I think you could just see Michigan State was drained. They'd given so much effort, and then when they couldn't get back up, right? Michigan, every time Michigan State would get a bucket, Michigan came down and tied it back up. So Michigan State never got that cushion again, and when Michigan finally got that lead, they were able to build on it, right? But at least build some momentum. I know it was a tie game basically with like 2 minutes to go before Kobe hit that game-winning 3-pointer, basically, right? When it made it 75 to 72. All it makes me think is what could have been. Like, oh, it's disappointing, and I know every game is different and unique, but it's like last week, Saturday, Michigan lost to Indiana by 1. Then they lose at Wisconsin by 5 when it was like, they had free throws to tie the game up, and with like under 2 minutes to go in that game. It's like, oh, if you guys could just have done a few more plays, a few more things here or there, what you could have done. But they got the win, and at least in the terms of the rivalry aspect, it probably makes the rivalry a little bit more even, a little bit more fun, where Michigan State wins at home, Michigan wins at home. The home fans get, the joy of it, if you will. And obviously after this week, it's just a sad state of affairs where what happened at Michigan State. And obviously that's the gray cloud hanging over everything. I got to say, Michigan really did a good job on the boards. They out-rebounded Michigan State, which is very hard to do, especially Michigan's a very poor rebounding team. So that's a big plus. And the big turnaround, I think, too, in the second half, Michigan had 8 turnovers in the first half. They only had 1 in the second half. So that really limited the easy points, the easy transition buckets that Michigan State was going to get, because Michigan was taking care of the ball better. Excellent game by Doug. I mean, to think about this, the first time in East Lansing, he had 0 points. today he's the team leader, 18 points. I mean, and Hauser just is a killer for Michigan. I'll be happy when he just leaves because he just is a thorn in Michigan's side. Walker had a good game, so did Hall. Both had, all those guys had double digits. But just great that Michigan got a win. And it was nice that they pulled away. It's like this Michigan just has really struggles with pulling away from a team. And that was nice that they could actually do it eventually. It wasn't like they got the 3 and then gave up points. So it's always a game, always a game, always a game, and putting the pressure. Michigan was able to get over that hump and get this win for what it is. Hey, will it matter? Don't know till the end of the season. I mean, if Michigan, if Michigan could like win out the season, crazy, I know. But if they could, win out the regular season, win a game in the Big Ten tournament or something, everything changes. But you got to start with game 1. So they got it, and at least it's a rivalry win. Sorry, in the camera stand there. At least they get the rivalry win, and that at least makes the season feel a little bit better. Hey, thanks for watching, you guys. As always, if you have any comments of your own, put them in the box below. And until I see you next time, as always, go blue.